we'll see. Fantastic record in this competition, in any competition really that Manchester United have entered since he's been manager, 25 years. But there has been this recent issue with Wayne Rooney, who was left out of the New Year's Eve game. Nightmare on New Year's Eve, as it turned out. Rooney didn't play. Manchester United lost at home to Blackburn, and they need a performance from him, Manchester United. Heavy security presence. It's the red side of Manchester to kick off. They actually haven't lost 3 games in a row for over 10 years, and those were the last 3 fixtures of the season when the league title was already clinched. So they weren't very costly defeats. But that would be the situation should they lose this Manchester derby in the 3rd round of the FA Cup.
It looks though Jones is going to be at right back and Smalling's going to be the centre half. I think that's a good move by Sir Alex Ferguson. Jones really struggled in the air against Newcastle, and that's the change that he's made from the formation that we were given.
Aguero wants it back and gets it back. Drawn Rio Ferdinand out of the centre. Here's de Jong, the Dutchman, who was integral in the success last season, but hasn't played so much this time because Manchester City have changed their philosophy. They're far more offensive in their nature and go forward from all positions, including at left back, where Kolarov won a free kick from Valencia.
Well, when they want some attacking options at left back, they play Kolarov. When they want a better defender, they play Clichy.
Michael Richards at right back was man of the match in the 6-1 at Old Trafford in October. I think he'd booked his place, really.
Certainly didn't book it with his performance against Liverpool. I thought he was really poor in the 3-0 win. I know it sounds funny, they won the game 3-0, but he didn't play particularly well. Stuart Downing went past him on several occasions.
Yes, that was the bounce back from the 1-0 defeat a week ago at Sunderland, and they conceded to virtually the last kick of the game. That was a questionable throw by Nani. You can maybe put it down to the tension of the occasion, but a schoolboy would be disappointed with taking a throw in like that.
Just for his first decision. Of any real note.
Sprinkling of rain. Certainly the winter in England's been very kind to those who love to get out and watch their teams play at all levels. Adam Johnson. And it's taken on by Milner here. City try to go at United from the off. Rooney clears, but not very effectively. There's another header from Carrick. Here's Lescott. So much experience in all types of football, including these Manchester derbies for these players, but this is very special at this particular time in the history of the two clubs.
I said that Milner would just play a holding role. Already he's made a couple of good runs. There he runs past Giggs. Ferdinand did well to read the situation. A good pass from Adam Johnson, given his chance out on the right-hand side today.
Here's Aguero. Look at the room here for Richards to measure across. David Silva was trying to chest it down for Samir Nasri. Danny Welbeck's presence is going to keep Lescott and company on his toes, on their toes. I meant company with a C, but it's also with a K as well. Because Welbeck, although he's coming back here, will want to run in behind at every opportunity. He was trying to set off then, and Giggs had the ball but couldn't keep it.
Certainly started off at a good tempo. City having the better of the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Ninth meeting in the FA Cup between these two great rivals, going back to the days when Manchester United were Newton Heath and City were Ardwick. And what sort of support Welbeck's going to get Stuart Rooney, as we can see there, press the ball, and very much part of a midfield that's been bypassed here. Silva
Once again, look who was in the box, James Milner. So he looks as though De Jong's just going to play as the holding midfielder by himself. And allow Milner to go forward as well. But look how deep Rooney is again. Just trying to shield his midfield players there. It's going to be difficult for him to break forward to support Welbeck.
Well, strangely, a year ago you'd have expected maybe Manchester City to line up with this sort of defensive phalanx. But it's a depleted Manchester United, a lot of injuries, a lot of wounding to the pride as well. Silva. And Alex Ferguson putting out at the side here. Lined up really to make sure they stay in the game in the early minutes. Looking pretty relaxed the way the game started. But I saw the match against Sunderland, Stuart, where in different circumstances Sunderland just sat back and drew the sting and eventually found a moment to go and win the game, and maybe Manchester United are looking at that design, that strategy.
I actually thought Man City played better in that game than they did against Liverpool, created more chances. Didn't quite have the same sort of luck and finishing prowess.
And Valencia able to see it out from Kolarov. He's been playing quite a lot recently as a right back for Alex Ferguson. It's the details that are fascinating to examine after all the pre-match talk. Oh, trying to close down, indeed closing down Lindegaard. And it's unsettling for Manchester United again.
He just takes too long over getting his touch out of his feet. Blair Oak showing a lot of energy. Could have gone anywhere. Very moment for Lindegaard.
Really is Manchester City's current wealth. The rich backers from the Middle East. It's restored the edge to this rivalry. For many years, Manchester United would tell you they had bigger fixtures than playing against City, particularly Liverpool, who they faced a year ago in the third round when they scored very early from the penalty spot. 1-0 in Kenny Dalglish's first game, you might recall, in his second spell as manager of Liverpool. He's got Liverpool safely through to round 4. They kicked off the third round on Friday night. A 5-1 home win against Oldham Athletic. Kompany. Here's Johnson. Caught by Evra. He's captaining Manchester United again.
I say a feature of Manchester United's play, or good play, defensive play, has been Evra's defending this season. Yes, he's been good going forward, but his one-on-one defending and his positional play has been poor for Manchester United this season. Patrice Evra. Johnson will try and get him.
City won the semi-final 1-0 at Wembley against Manchester United. On their way to lifting the trophy last season. Kolarov. Plenty of velocity. Not too much venom in the end because get past Welbeck in the wall.
He might have been actually shooting for goal there. And did he try to play that one in?
Richards. And he's struggling. Manchester City pushing on. Silva. Movement from Aguero, but there was no way through for the pass. Brought out by Rooney. Knocked on by Jones. But not to Valencia's liking.
Yeah, you saw the chance of the counter-attack, but it was a poor pass from Jones. After a good start at Manchester United this season, it's just dropped. Whether it be at right back, midfield or at centre-half.
Decisive work from Lindegaard that time. And Aguero closed him down. Giggs. Rooney able to turn. Welbeck going towards the near post. Rooney coming in! It's a brilliant header! And Manchester United, with their first real attack, score. And all the focus that was on Wayne Rooney, needing a performance today. Well, he's got off to a fantastic start.
Well, he made a brilliant decision. First of all, he was looking for the run of Welbeck. He decided to play it out wide for Valencia, then continued his run into the box. And Manchester United had 3 players in there. Sets it up here, he can't get it to Welbeck, so plays it wide. There's 3 players in the box. Man City don't defend it well enough. Richards tries to get across, but what a header from Wayne Rooney. He gets above De Jong. Richards can't get there. And right into the top corner. But that was good decision-making by Wayne Rooney. And a great cross from Valencia.
Yeah. It is in, Sir Alex. And Wayne Rooney, who of course scored, getting on for a year ago, the goal of 2011 to beat Manchester City in the Premier League at Old Trafford, has given them the chance of beating them here at the Etihad Stadium in the FA Cup. And it's a goal of, well, you would find it hard to think that there would be a goal of such quality that Rooney could do again, but you've just seen it. It was a truly wonderful header.
So precise about Manchester United. The first time they've really been in an attacking area. Really had a bit of space on the time on the ball. Made the right decision to get it out to Valencia, and that's what Valencia gives Manchester United. He's a brilliant crosser of the ball, and Rooney isn't giving credit for his heading ability. He certainly is a good technical header of the ball.
Absolutely no chance for Pantilimon making his FA Cup debut. And when you look at the fine margins of football, and there are plenty of them, underside of the bar and in, underside of the bar and out. It's gone Manchester United's way. Chris Foy now shown a red card, and it's going Manchester United's way even more. Company goes. They're down to 10 men within seconds of having gone a goal down. Chris Foy saying that both feet were involved. And this is sensation upon sensation.
Well, it was good play from Manchester United in the first place. They waited for the ball to be played into midfield, then they won it back, then they tried to counter-attack. The pass was a little bit too long. And Company goes in 2-footed. You have to see it again, but from the first viewing, I don't think he gets anything of the Manchester United player, but that doesn't seem to be the rule these days. He went in 2-footed, and you're always going to give the referee a chance of sending you off if you do that.
Well, it's often said in a derby game there are no favourites. Manchester City were favourites. It's that scissors type movement that officials do not like.
Well, I'm not sure he does go with his foot that challenges the ball. He actually gets it with the side of his foot. 10 years ago that would not even be a foul. It would have been a brilliant tackle. I still think it was a good tackle.
The holders are in big trouble. They're losing at home where they haven't been beaten for well over a year. And now the man light and Evra trying to pick the right pass here. And Jones in the end looking to try and slide it on for Valencia. The right kind of contact. Richards at centre-back, Milner at right-back.
Means that Silva will come into a central area alongside Nasri.
Two Manchester United players colliding with each other, and that's a little bit of luck for City. They haven't had much so far, and it nearly produced an equaliser, but for a real reaching save by Lindegaard to keep out Aguero's shot.
Well, Aguero scored against Liverpool with using his laces to hit it underneath the Liverpool goalkeeper. That time he tried to bend it into the corner, and what a save from Lindegaard. It was poor defending from United to start with. Two defenders colliding with each other.
Deep corner from Johnson, Richards trying to power in. He's very, very good in the air, but Lindegaard, the full extremity of his reach, stopped Manchester City getting an equaliser straight away.
Jones and Smalling colliding with each other, then Ferdinand doesn't close the ball down. He was worried about the run of Silva, but a really good save with his left hand. Lindegaard.
The prime colour, though, is red, particularly in the nature of the card that was shown to Vincent Kompany, the most consistent of the Manchester City players. Since his 70th birthday, not much has gone right for Alex Ferguson, and now he's thinking, what are we going to do here? Maybe in regard to Phil Jones's injury, maybe in regard to how the team are now going to readjust. They won't want to be sitting back, Stuart, surely, when they've got an extra man.
No, they won't. They want to control the game. They want to make Manchester City have to run around. It's all going their way at the moment. Brilliant header from Rooney. Kompany, I think, sent off wrongly. Again, the goal. He gets a bit of time on the ball. De Jong can't get there. Lescott comes out the danger area, but what a cross it was into the box. And Richards, the right back, can't quite get there. He's a good header of the ball, Richards. See him coming in at the last minute, can't get there. But that's an absolutely perfect header from Wayne Rooney.
And he lets everyone watching around the world know that Manchester United are very much his club. They've been the rumour mill again after the disciplinary action against him, and the after effects of a post-game night out that he wasn't able to train as Manchester United's management wanted him to do the next day. He wasn't alone in that. Johnny Evans, who's on the bench here.
They could see in a few minutes Johnny Evans. If Jones goes off, Evans will come into centre half. Smalling would then go to right back.
Gibson was the other player involved, and they were all omitted, although Evans actually was injured from the Blackburn game and wouldn't have played anyway. But that's all done and dusted. And, life goes on at Manchester United. And what a win this would be, given all the circumstances in the lead up to it. But we're still a long way away from that being confirmed. Manchester City, even with 10 men, have got the individual capability to give their own cause, their own ability to retain the FA Cup some sort of chance. Jones limps back, but he's still limping.
Man City, looks like De Jong's the holding midfield player, and in front of him it's going to be Nasri and Silva. They're trying to get Kolarov high up the field on the left-hand side. A bit of attacking, a few attacking options down that left-hand side, and Aguero will be up front by himself. So that's how they've readjusted the side. Milner at right back.
Kompany, Stuart, incidentally, unless there is an appeal, which I promise you they won't get away with because of the way the officials are now taught and told to referee and get the support from the administrators. But here's Adam Johnson. But with Kompany having been sent off earlier this season against Wolves, that will be a 4-game ban. And I guess will encompass both semi-finals of the League Cup.
As you said, he's been their most consistent player. He's the best defender in the Premier League at the moment. Vincent Kompany, one of the best defenders in Europe. I've seen him play for Belgium on a few occasions.
Liverpool here, Wigan away in the Premier League, Tottenham at home. A massive Premier League match, and then the second leg at Anfield. The next 4 games for Manchester City. I suppose that could change if this finishes a draw and there's a replay in there. But anyway, let's concentrate on what Manchester City do without Kompany here. Limon to Milner. Johnson. City throw.
Certainly couldn't have done anything about the goal, could he? Limon.
City had started with the confidence coursing through their veins of a match Milner was very much involved in, played really well in the 6-1 at Old Trafford. With a severely different set of circumstances now. And the angle of challenges will be under scrutiny. The City fans bellowing for disciplinary action against Giggs, who went with one leg. But not from a great angle.
Certainly doesn't get the ball. Good play from Aguero. He just stuck his leg across Giggs, so Giggs couldn't get a touch on it. Started the game well, Aguero.
Rooney caught by Kolarov. What Manchester United need now is to be calm in this cauldron. It's an old footballing cliche, and I'm sure with the very top officials, Paul Scholes will be happy enough. I'm sure he'll feel that he's helping the cause, but not necessarily wanting to get into the action straight away. It has been in midfield where they've been short-handed and, in truth, short of quality. And Ryan Giggs reinventing himself in his late 30s as a central midfield player.
Much better off Ryan Giggs playing in that area when there's three in that central midfield area, which to a certain degree they have got today, with Rooney dropping that little bit deeper.
Well, for the third FA Cup meeting in a row, a player has been sent off. Previous two occasions, Manchester United players in the semi-final at Wembley. It was Scholes, of course, in the previous meeting, February 2004. And it was Gary Neville, and Manchester United went on to win 4-2 at Old Trafford. Scholes scored in that game. Chris Foy has seen that as a two-footer.
I'm afraid I don't see it the same way as Chris Foy. I see it along with Mancini. And I think referees are too eager to send players off.
Actually, you might recall Chris Foy, Queen's Park Rangers Chelsea, which was the same day that Manchester City won 6-1 at Old Trafford, their second game in a Premier League double-header. Chris Foy sent off two Chelsea players, Singwa and Drogba. Drogba was for a dangerous tackle.
Interesting, there was only one player that ran towards Chris Foy to even complain about the tackle, and that was Wayne Rooney when it happened.
Silva. Manchester City with plenty forward here, including Kolarov, who had the shot that was blocked. Here's Milner. Now Johnson. Silva. Aguero. Milner. By Everett. Stop the cross coming into the Manchester United penalty area. Lescott. Richards. Little keep ball from the side with 10 men. First quarter of the game has been full of incident.
A player that needs to do more in Man City colours, Samir Nasri, hasn't really performed so far. It's an inspiration for Arsenal last season.
Milner, it's good work by Manchester City this. Silva, past Evra, and it's a corner.
Brilliant combination play from Man City, 1 and 2 touch passing, clever movement. Silva just takes it away from Rooney, goes past Evra. Running in with the block eventually. They're getting themselves back in the game now.
Adam Johnson's corner. I probably thought it was his, but didn't work out that way. Kolarov. Lead away by Rooney. Milner. Johnson who'd taken the corner. Nasri. Again, the man who breaks up the play for Manchester United is Wayne Rooney. He was dumped on his backside as he played the ball wide to Nani. Chris Foy was very close. Rooney's not complaining. Manchester United still have the ball. Jones. Here's Valencia. Carrick with more licence to get forward now that Manchester United have the extra man. Jones with the cross, well defended by Lescott. As far as Valencia. They'll have to play this shrewdly, Manchester City, if they're going to stand any chance of staying in the competition. Down goes Aguero, and I guess you could say, if you're being cynical, Stuart, shrewdly, is to make the most of every bit of contact.
And that's what they'll try and do. The crowd are baying for blood every time there's a challenge. It's a poor challenge from Jones. No intention to hurt Aguero. To play Aguero, just mistimed it.
And here comes City again. Milner. Two rolls now down the right-hand side. Nicely worked with Adam Johnson. But there's no Edin Dzeko is the best header of the ball. Manchester United will remember that. He scored the Champions League goals against them for Wolfsburg, as well as the two in the 6-1, and he struck a Community Shield goal past David De Gea on his United debut at Wembley in August.
Manchester United will be pleased that they haven't got Barr and Niobe up against him. Brilliant in the air. They didn't cope with it at all well. On that occasion, there was Aguero and Silva in the box. Slightly different attributes that they've got.
Niobe, who bullied, if that's the right word, in Manchester United into submission on Wednesday night. The ground formerly known as St James's. Well, look at Giggs. Well, he didn't want to hit it in the end, but Nani will. Stopped though by Milner. Johnson. Well, that's risky from Ferdinand. And Aguero got himself into an onside position, and he goes on and hits the side netting, but Rio Ferdinand looking round to blame.
Well, he's having a go at Jones, and I don't think Jones is right at the moment. Jones didn't recover to get into a good position, but it's Ferdinand's fault, and then Ferdinand doesn't come alive until too late there. And Smalling does well just to force Aguero away from goal. He's never going to score from that angle. But Ferdinand's not been having a good time of late. He's trying to blame Jones. And Jones isn't having any of it.
Knocked the ball away, or words to that effect. Smalling. Manchester United haven't won the FA Cup since 2004. It's not so long in the history of many clubs, but in their history, it's a poor run, and players like Rio Ferdinand and Wayne Rooney do not have winners' medals. Most of Mancini's men do. Those, of course, like Aguero, who only came in this season. It's his FA Cup debut today.
He's going to have to get his tactics right now, Mancini. I think they've recovered fairly well. He was getting Savic warmed up. He's decided to stick with Richards at centre-half and Milner at right-back. There's plenty of energy down this right-hand side. Milner and Johnson down this right-hand side. Kolarov can be the almost wing-back on that left-hand side, making up two positions. But Jones doesn't look fit to me.
After undoubtedly his worst game in a Manchester United shirt at Newcastle, which ended with that crazy own goal. That's been the way it's been going for Manchester United. If they were to lose Jones relatively early in the match, and they are on a very poor, players missing through injury, notably, of course, Nemanja Vidic, captain, and it's fair to say the strongest of their centre-back options. Even Everest had to fill in the middle of the defence during matches recently. Carrick's had a couple of games there too.
I don't think we'll see Carrick play too many more games there after the Blackburn game.
Yakubu knew too much for him. And if Manchester United, who like Manchester City, are in the Europa League now, having both gone out of the Champions League, for Manchester City, not so much of a disgrace, a tough group. With Bayern Munich and Napoli, the two teams that went through. For Manchester United, though, it was a real lapse in standards. Biggs fouled. Only once since Sir Alex Ferguson took charge of Manchester United have United gone out in the third round, and we brought you that game a couple of seasons ago, home to Leeds from 2 divisions lower as they were then. Here's Nani, can give it to Evra, who's yelling for the ball. A good cross now, and City could be in further trouble. They are. It's a wonderful finish from Danny Welbeck. A second spectacular goal, and a Manchester lad starts the celebrations again in the Manchester derby for those wearing red.
Well, it's a brilliant finish in the end. Evra did well getting forward, the cutback was on, and City defended it well to start with, or they got players back in there. But once again, no chance for the goalkeeper. And Welbeck, who has got qualities, on the turn right into the corner. There is a good bit of play from Nani. Sets up Evra. Didn't get the clearance quite away, but he reacts first. Nasri wasn't quick enough to it. De Jong wasn't quick enough to it. Welbeck, good anticipation, and good technique, brilliant technique. Gets his body away from the ball, right into the corner.
Well, with just a third of the 90 minutes gone, Alex Ferguson's team allegedly arriving here in some disarray, well on the way to putting out the holders and rubbing Manchester City's noses in it. As the start of payback from the 6-1 at Old Trafford in October. 2 extraordinary goals, but really a key moment when we come to scrutinise it at the end of the game, unless there is an amazing turnaround, will be Chris Foy's decision to red card the City skipper Kompany.
Well, I was very critical of Foy's performance in that game that you were talking about, the QPR Chelsea game. In my view, the Singer didn't even commit a foul against Wright Phillips when they went through, and he sent him off. And I'm not sure that Didier Drogba deserved more than a yellow card. And I would say, and only in my view, I don't agree with the rules, it wasn't even a foul by Vincent Kompany. That's my view.
Valencia. And you won't find Manchester United easing off the pressure against the depleted City here. They will sense an opportunity to get more goals and win by a massive margin if they can. And it has been very much the way for Manchester City, who have so often been in Manchester United's shadow. Even when City last won the league back in 1968, Manchester United a few days later went and won the European Cup at Wembley. Although that did herald a spell where City were supreme. They went on to win the FA Cup in '69, running a Cup Winners' Cup. They were a fantastic side in the late 60s, early 70s under the combined management of Joe Mercer and Malcolm Allison. And, in the 1970s, Manchester United were, of course, relegated.
Some good players in those days as well. Colin Bell, magnificent midfield player.
Mike Summerby, Francis Lee here today, and expecting the Blue Moon to be rising again, but the Red Devils have found the recipe. 2 really terrific goals, it must be said. And the first one against 11 men must also be emphasised. I agree with you totally, Stuart. Nigel de Jong, you'd think as a defensive-minded player, would beat Danny Welbeck to that dropping ball. Not only did he not get there, Welbeck put it in the corner.
And the other player, Nasri, I've been critical of this season for Man City. He was slow to react, the ball went up in the air. Welbeck was standing next to Nasri, got back there and got the goal.
Same Danny Welbeck who's going to get a yellow card here. Pushing for a place in England's squad for the European finals and the European summer coming up in June and July. Well, from this point of view, I hope it's July because you have to stay in the competition to get into that latter stages. And Wayne Rooney suspended from the first 2 England games, but now available for the third after a generous decision by the Appeals Committee. But we're focusing on Welbeck, as we should do here. Rooney's an ally for Manchester United. Wow.
Yeah, it's a great finish. Nasri heads out, then stands still. De Jong doesn't go towards the ball, he goes to the side of the ball. And Welbeck's awareness and technical ability to swivel on that and hit it right into the corner was brilliant. He's taken over from Hernandez as the main striker now at Manchester United, I think, in that forward position.
And what about Dimitar Berbatov? Not even in the 18 here today.
Different sort of quality, isn't he? Berbatov is the technical player, the one that links up the play. Scores his fair amount of goals as well, but both Hernandez and Welbeck like to run in behind the opposition.
Well, Berbatov, there's Balotelli, who's out with an ankle injury. And not impressed with what he's been seeing. And all the good and the great are here today. David Beckham looking for a new club.
Well, if Scholes can come back, what about Beckham?
There's a booking for Nani. And Manchester United just got to be careful here, not encouraging, I was going to say earlier, and I don't think I finished the sentence, about an old cliche that referees like to even it up. I don't think that's absolutely true with these top officials, but if you can see that we've got a referee here, if he feels that another red card should be shown, he's not going to be shy of showing it, should we say.
Particularly if it's a Manchester United player. So they do try and even it up, there's no question about human nature.
Nani will give Manchester United even more breathing space, but the cross is too strong.
I think that's the area they can cause problems, Manchester United. They keep getting it into wide areas. Valencia out on that right-hand side, Nani on the left-hand side. Both fullbacks want to get forward to make up the numbers in attacking areas for Man City, Milner and Kolarov. So it's a great opportunity for 2 excellent wide players to keep getting at the fullbacks and getting crosses in.
Giggs, who's got more time on the ball because of the sending off. Jones moving more freely now. Rooney. Giggs. Evra. It's a sort of pass he probably wouldn't have played at 0-0 or at 1-0. Cheeky. Smalling. A happy return for him. He's not been at all well. There was a fear that he might have got glandular fever, a disease that he had as a child. Diagnosed as just tonsillitis, course of antibiotics, and he's back in a couple of weeks. Back at the right time, he will feel. Rooney, bit of a hit and hope. And so much has gone Manchester United's way so far. Why not?
I actually think he's playing in his best position now as the attacking midfield player. I think that's where he's going to play for most of the rest of his career, because he's a good passer of the ball. He can find space like he is now, pick out his passes.
It's a poor kick by the goalkeeper. And there's a challenge, penalty. And the chance for Manchester United to go 3-0 up. Or is it? It's Welbeck concerned about.
It's a good pass into Welbeck. He takes his first touch, then just takes his second one away from Kolarov. Once Kolarov goes to ground, it's always going to be a problem for him here. It's a great touch from Welbeck. Richards was getting across. It's going to be Wayne Rooney.
I don't know whether Welbeck thought for one moment he was going to get a second yellow card for trying to influence the referee, but here's Rooney to make it a magnificent first half here for Manchester United, but Pantilimon safe, but Rooney can follow it up. That's the way it's going for United today. At the second attempt, his second goal. And it is City 0, United 3.
Well, you're quite right, it's going all Manchester United's way. Not a great penalty, the right height for the goalkeeper. And he palms it back into the danger area. He just about keeps on his feet here, Wayne Rooney. Just starts to slip with a good header. Maybe across Pantilimon. It's all going Manchester United's way. But Chris Foy was right to give the penalty on this occasion. Kept his composure here. Wayne Rooney didn't rush it. Just made sure he got over it.
It got there in the end. There's going to be surely no third defeat in a row for Manchester United, who rarely lose two in succession, but have done going into this game at home to Blackburn and away to Newcastle in the Premier League. We want however many, 6 I think would be the Manchester United's dream situation, and it could be 4 here. Richards, what Manchester United didn't do in the league game. Here's a Nani. The whistle has gone. Stuart, they got a goal to make it 3-1, didn't they? And then they went to try and get back into the game and were just picked off. Well, that wasn't under orders from Alex Ferguson. Now I think would have taken a 3-0 defeat or a 3-1 defeat. Well, Manchester City have got to bear that in mind here. Otherwise, those 6-1 celebrations could be knocked to one side by an even bigger margin of defeat.
Well, they certainly had the opportunity. Jones and Valencia breaking down that right-hand side, and I'm not sure Welbeck did enough for Valencia in the box there. Valencia was waiting and waiting. He was looking to find the right pass. Welbeck was almost hiding behind Richards. And Richards did well just to get the clearance in. But it's dangerous times now for Man City, not in terms of the game, but how many they lose by.
Giggs reversing it cleverly for Welbeck. Nani coming onto this. Welbeck. Rooney. Manchester City had enough numbers back. They're defending with any great optimism, and they lose possession again. They've won all their Premier League games this season. Rooney on a hat-trick.
That's where he's clever. He was looking for a pass, There wasn't one on. Trying to get the shot in. Hasn't gone his way, has it? Goalkeeper Tillemont. No chance with the first 2 goals. Then he makes a decent save from the penalty. Wayne Rooney to head it back past him.
Andrei Kanchelskis. Was it a 5-0 win at Old Trafford in the early years of the Premier League? Got a hat-trick in a Manchester derby. He went on to represent Manchester City as well. And of course the headlines in the papers today about a 60 million move for Manchester City to sign Wayne Rooney from Alex Ferguson. I think not.
Not once he kissed the badge. I don't think that's going to endear himself to the City fans.
I expect Tevez kissed the badge a few times as well, didn't he?
They've all kissed the badge once or twice.
Yeah. Did you ever do that?
I remember doing it once when I went back to West Ham and I was playing for Coventry. And we got a 1-0 victory. Not something I was proud of.
2 minutes to go to half-time. Well, you could have imagined all sorts of scenarios for this game because of the potential in both teams. But I'd be very surprised if anybody came up with something like this.
And now Aguero, having started the game so well, is an isolated figure up front, but there's the key figure in the game. He's made a big decision, I think a mistake.
Aguero comprehensively outnumbered. Nani. Carrick.
Certainly Carrick can be the player that can dictate the play.
The quarterback.
There's going to be no pressure on him. He can find the right pass.
Given away by Richards. Interesting to see how Roberto Mancini sends out his team for the second half. They'll just accept the defeat at this sort of scoreline and run the risk of extra pummeling. The Manchester United fans around the world be pinching themselves at this.
It's also a warning for Man City. I remember Arsenal being top of the table, coming to Manchester United and losing 4-0, and then that gave Manchester United the confidence to play on from there, and Arsenal lost their confidence. But it happened to Man City.
Carrick. Here's Valencia. Giggs looking for Rooney. And Mascot just looking for some distance into the clearance. Smalling's header. Even Silva's touch. Not quite up to the mark then. So we're into the 2 added minutes. The first half, which literally and colloquially, Manchester City have seen red. Certainly angry with Chris Foy's brandishing of the red card. Oh, a touch away from going 4-0 down.
Well, he does get a touch on this, I think, Welbeck. A very slight one, but this is brilliant play. First of all, Rooney again switches the play out to Valencia. Valencia just buys himself enough space to get his cross in. And what an opportunity. Pantilimon doesn't dive out for it. 2 centre-halves are on the 6-yard box, and that's a golden opportunity. Doesn't take it this time, Welbeck. But Rooney, Valencia, Welbeck, that combination is really causing Man City problems.
Kolarov. Silva. Knew what he was doing with half-time approaching. You're not getting past me if the ball's past me.
Manchester United now, even Welbeck's just getting behind the ball. Rooney's doing a good job, just trying to shield the ball into Adam Johnson there, just slowing down Manchester City's movement.
Silva. Of course, it was Manchester United had Johnny Evans sent off on the 6-1. Manchester City had already started to get a grip on the game, and we should say here that Manchester United had scored through Wayne Rooney's header in the 10th minute before Roberto Mancini's side went down to 10 men when his skipper Kompany was sent off, after which Welbeck scored a spectacular second and then was brought down for a penalty, which led to another Rooney header. Not quite according to the textbook, but he followed up after Pantilimon had saved his initial spot kick. At half-time at the Etihad Stadium, it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 3. Well, welcome back to the Etihad Stadium. Pretty subdued Etihad Stadium, and it's not the rain I'm talking about, it's the scoreline and a couple of changes, Stuart Robson, that reflect, I think, Roberto Mancini's prospects for the second half. A couple of defensive players coming on. Yeah,
Zabaleta and Savic both coming on for Silva and Johnson. Certainly going to be more defensive now. They're going to try and, I can't say hang on to a 3-0 defeat, but they're going to try and make sure that it's damage limitation.
As the teams came out of the tunnel, one or two of the City players were still having a chip at Chris Foy. But the decision has been made. Manchester United have the extra man. 2 of their 3 goals have come since the sending off of Kompany. One of those 2 from a correctly awarded penalty by the official, who gets the second half underway.
Well, it looks as though they're going to play with a back 3. Manchester City, Savic as the left-sided centre-back, Lescott as the middle one, Richards as the right-sided one, and Kolarov and Zabaleta will be the wing-backs. with Milner and De Jong in central midfield and Nasri supporting Aguero. That's the tactics, the formation that Man City are going to use in the second half.
Manchester United won't deeply mind whether they increase the scoreline or not, but it is their very DNA really to push on when they do get possession, so I don't think the game will be played in the respective halves of the two teams.
I imagine that Mancini's done all his talking at half-time, but still just adjusting one or two things. Start of the second half, there you see Nasri almost playing as a striker alongside Aguero. It's not quite as defensive as we first thought.
Carrick.
But of course, if Manchester United's wide players get really good width, it could take Zabaleta back there, it could take Kolarov back into a defensive position, so it ends up being a back five.
Because it doesn't give Mancini much margin should Manchester City pick up an injury or two in the second half.
Aguero's already gone down.
Made those two changes. Here's Richards. To make light of the lack of numbers. The referee has blown. Cosfoy has been vigilant, shall we say, when Manchester United have been making their challenges. Grabbing by Everett in the end, having been grabbed by Richards first.
That's what Everett was doing. It wasn't the right way to do it, by grabbing hold of the referee's shirt and saying that's what Richards was doing to me. But it will give Kolarov an opportunity. Nasri, I don't think will hit it from this sort of distance. It's got to be Kolarov. First test of this half for Lindegaard.
Kolarov, and it's a brilliant free kick, and Manchester City with 10 men to score the first goal of the second half. So Evra's protestations were perhaps justified, as if he felt what was coming from the opposing left back.
Well, it was a great free kick, gets it over the top of the wall. It looks as though Lindegaard was slow to react to it. It's right in the corner, it's hit with a bit of pace. Maybe a bit unfair on the goalkeeper, always going away from him. A really good free kick. Welbeck on the end of the wall decides not to jump. Oh, Man City going to stage a fight back here.
Well, let me remind you all again that 3-1 down at home was the danger score for Manchester United in October in the Premier League at Old Trafford. It encouraged them to chase the game, and City picked them off. There is to be renewed optimism here, and it's got to be done with a certain amount of consideration, but certainly given a bit of life to a second half, which might have been seen to be a formality.
It certainly keeps them, Man City faithful, on the edge of their seats. A bit more noise than they were at the start of the half.
Third goal of the season. One of them was a very similar free kick here in the Champions League, an equaliser against Napoli. Evra. Rooney. So 7 hat-tricks to his name, all of them in his time with Manchester United. 2 of them back-to-back earlier this season. Drop. And the Manchester City player then pushed him to the ground. Giggs, Rooney, back ahead of him. Valencia to his right. To his right, Jones. Carrick. Giggs. Now Valencia. Jones going on the overlap. Still there if Valencia wants to use him, as he seems reluctant to do. Carrick. Now Jones involved. On to Valencia. Better angle for the cross. And the header from Nani is never going to trouble the goalkeeper.
Good patient build-up. Scholes getting warmed up now.
Well, he is an ideal player in these circumstances. His lack of match action won't be so vulnerable when they've got an extra man.
You're absolutely right, but the one thing that I would be worried about if I was Sir Alex Ferguson is you don't want to even up the numbers. And there's one thing that Paul Scholes can't do is tackle.
Yeah,
and he never learnt his lesson.
Yeah.
Many games.
It wasn't that long ago that he was sent off in the FA Cup against Manchester City. Here's Jones finding a gap and powering his way into it.
De Jong did well in the end to get back and get the tackle in. He's going to be outpaced here. It's a really good blocking. It's Jones at his best.
Short corner taken by Ryan Giggs. Valencia. Pick a pass. Rooney! Looking for the bottom corner.
Well, that's exactly what Valencia does. He bides his time, he's patient. On this occasion, he can't see the cross, so he cuts it back for Rooney. With his left foot, strikes it well. It goes between the legs of Savic, just bending wide.
First third-round tie that Sir Alex Ferguson was involved in with Manchester United was at Manchester Derby in 1987. United won 1-0 at Old Trafford. And for the second half, leading 3-0 here. Kolarov has struck a cracking free kick. City struggling to get back on the ball since then. Pass wide. Rooney flipping it into the middle, away by Savic. Giggs. Play it one side and go round the other these days. But,
I think he was passing it for Rooney, who just trying to get back on side.
Lescott making it awkward for him. Well, it would be interesting to see what would happen if Manchester City were able to get the next goal. Certainly reignite the cup tie as a true contest. At the moment, Manchester United still holding the whip hand, despite the lead being cut to 2.
I certainly thought about it at half-time, in terms of the tactics. Quite sure he went as defensive as we thought he would do. When you looked at the players, you thought that was his intent, but by bringing those players on and making it a back three, he's allowed them to get 2 up front, Nasri and Aguero.
But rather than doing it with the personnel that he had on the pitch, he has made sure that when they need to defend, which they will do a lot, Zabaleta, Savic shouldn't be found wanting in that respect.
Certainly Zabaleta is a really good player, I think. He needs to get in the side more regularly.
Here comes Jones again. With freedom to attack. Lovely ball slid down the side of Manchester City. Welbeck, Valencia stayed on his feet. And for Jones to try and place it. Nasri and Aguero working well together as Manchester City try to counter-attack. Then it's the risk of pushing too many men on, and they're not short of numbers here at the moment, as you can see, as they deal with the 4 up for Manchester United with a fair amount of comfort. Nasri. By Kolarov, in turn by Savic, international from Montenegro. Zabaleta. get forward and make an extra man. Nasri does have a key role, so I think everyone up here in Manchester supporting City would agree with what you said in the first half, that there's more to come from Nasri. So the adjustment from the Arsenal way, where he was maybe a more significant player, he's just one of a what a glitterati, really.
And his best ability is when he was running with the ball in those sort of areas, dribbling past people, running at pace, changing direction. He hasn't really done that at City. His passing in the first half was fairly accurate, but it didn't influence the game, it didn't affect the game.
He got a big game against Manchester United on his CV when he scored 2 in a 2-1 win for Arsenal at the Emirates a few years back. Nani. Welbeck. Phil Jones has joined in the middle as well. And there's Nasri caught. And Carrick, you might remember a tackle just before half-time that we spotted up for you. And he's got away with this one as well, I think.
Just nicked the ball away from Carrick there, Nasri. Can't keep coming too deep, otherwise Aguero will be isolated. That's not the tactics, I think, that were intended by Mancini.
Well, what a headline this is. All the farewells have been made, the obituaries to his career had been written, glowing ones. Manchester United to the core, and then the call has come. And I'm sure it was the call rather than him knocking on the manager's door saying, I'm ready. The comeback for Paul Scholes.
Interesting to see who it's for, what position he's actually going to play. He's going to play in the holding midfield role. He's going to play further forward.
His task, I'm sure, is to make sure that Manchester City retain possession. So adept at that, and I'm sure that's the sort of skill when you're in these circumstances. I mean, playing a local derby in front of 40,000 hostile fans, but when you're 3-1 up and your team's got an extra man, I think Scholes could be doing this sort of job in 5 years' time, let alone in 5 seconds, 5 minutes' time.
Particularly if Manchester United's wide players with real width, when he gets on the board, he hits those big diagonal passes.
And one of the wide players is coming off, we're hearing, in Nani. Which means Giggs stays on. It'll be interesting to see them get back on the same wavelength again. Giggs and Scholes, having played hundreds of matches together for Manchester United. Rooney. Always veering wide. So here it is. 2012 has produced a major story for Manchester United. It seems in winning this local derby third-round FA Cup, but doing so with Paul Scholes back on the pitch. He picked out his favourite goal of his entire career, and he scored some wonderful ones. A winning header here a couple of years ago, virtually the last touch of the game because of the significance of it. And the headers have gone in already, 2 of them from Rooney. Different number. Same player. A penny for your thoughts, Mr. Beckham.
One of the greatest talents of recent years in English football, Paul Scholes. Brilliant pass for the ball, great shooter. Not the best tackler.
Roy Keane, could he come back? And Ryan Giggs just keeps rolling along.
Well, Ryan Giggs has gone out to a left-sided position, exactly where Nani was playing. And Paul Scholes has gone in alongside Carrick, with Rooney just in front of them.
Zabaleta doesn't get there. This ball to him. You mentioned Scholes being a risk coming back. I guess Roy Keane might be one as well. In terms of avoiding cards. Of course, they Champions League final 1999, when both were suspended.
And he's just going to sit there. He'll make too many runs forward, Scholes, but he'll just try and keep the ball moving. The likes of Rooney and Carrick into the game.
Well, that was the first mistimed tackle. He managed to check. Aguero. Good recovery. Ever a foul by Aguero. Free kick to Manchester United.
And I think Aguero missed an opportunity here, either to get his shot away early or to play in a colleague. Wanted to go himself. Good defending on this occasion by Evra. Just gets his body in the way. Aguero has it. Kick at him.
Well, there's half an hour to go. If this backfires on Sir Alex Ferguson, having lost the last 2 games, even the 25 years, and certainly the last 15 years of which has probably been designated the best manager of all time, it would be a risk to that reputation. There's no sign of that happening as yet. Here's Valencia. Carrick. Scholes. Never thought I'd be saying that name again. Here is Valencia. Inside the penalty area. United are asking the question. Chris Foy says no this time.
Well, Valencia's got the beat in the collar of every time. Goes at the inside and then goes down the outside, and it's a foul. Whether it's in the box or not, can't quite see. Probably just outside the box, but certainly a foul from Kolarov. Valencia's beaten him time and time again. He can't believe it. Not quite evening it up, but he just didn't want to give it, did he?
You did mention the human factor earlier, and it's very hard. Sent off the City player. He's given United an absolute certain penalty, and if it was in the area, he's just turned down an absolute certain penalty claim for them. Now, Carrick can get within range, goes for the pass. Always amazes me why players don't shoot this ball in these conditions. Really set up for the shot.
Welbeck made a run for it. There's no space really to hit Welbeck in behind on that occasion. As you said, on this pitch as well, which is very fast and slick with the rain that we've had on it.
There's a mistake between Smalling and Jones. Aguero. It's overhit for Zabaleta. There's a chance. You could see Manchester City, when they do believe there's a moment to get forward, they will gamble.
The right pass from Aguero, good vision from him. Just sliced the ball as Zabaleta was making the break from his right wing-back position.
That's under hit by Scholes. Oh, and there's a chance here. It's going to be 3-2. It is. It's Aguero who followed up his own shot. And Manchester City are back in business, and it was Paul Scholes who gave the ball away.
Well, it was a simple throw-in into Scholes. He under-hit it. Milner does really well to pinch the ball away from them. Mancini wants his players just to calm down, but here Paul Scholes goes to the ball, under-hits it. Milner does well. And look at the movement from Aguero. Doesn't get too tight to Smalling. And then he realised it's a mistake from Lindegaard. There's no question about that. He should be holding on to that. He almost went past the ball, and he reacted quickly. Did Aguero. And we've got a real game on our hands now.
Manchester City 2, Manchester United 3. Inside 20 minutes of the second half. First Kolarov's free kick, and then Aguero following up on his own shot. And Manchester United seem comfortable with the throw-in on the far side. And the 37-year-old comeback non-kid needs to take the blame and now clear his head and get on with trying to get Manchester United towards a goal and restoring a bit of comfort to proceedings here. And with Valencia and with Jones, they might just do it in this attack. But good handling by Pantilimon, particularly compared to what's just happened at the other end.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity, well worked by Manchester United to get Jones in. It wasn't a great cross. Just Trying to hit an area. There's some nervous Manchester United fans.
But Giggs and Rooney. Scholes makes a forward run. Valencia. Would you believe it? I think it's time to say that this is the FA Cup. The world's greatest club knockout competition. The oldest for sure, and still retaining its vitality.
Don't you have to say, and anything can happen?
I think so. The magic thereof. Well, it's not very magical for Manchester United at the moment. It shouldn't have come down to the realms of the ethos of the way matches are played in this competition. It was a straightforward task, really, to defend the 3-0 lead against a team with 10 men in the second half.
I think we've got to give Mancini a bit of credit as well for his half-time tactical change. Yes, he put on Zabaleta on the right-hand side as a wing-back. Yes, he brought Savic on, but what it's enabled them to do is to play with two up front, Nasri and Aguero, and the wing-backs have tried to attack when they can. I don't think Manchester United have coped with it particularly well. I thought their wide players would go even wider to cause Kolarov and Zabaleta to go back, but they've actually tucked them in at times.
But this, as was pointed out plentifully in the build-up to this game, this is not the Manchester United of past generations. There's a good interception by Welbeck there. It's a side that's been struggling, a side that shipped 6 goals in its previous 2 games and 2 more here against a team with 10 men.
And if Man City can get a couple of set plays, you'd still fancy Richards coming up. You'd still fancy Lescott in the box to cause 1 or 2 problems. Savic maybe even.
Yeah, he's good in the air. He's going for that. Manchester City up for the fight.
Welcome back, Paul Scholes, to top-flight football. Took an absolute whack from Micah Richards here. It's a foul, really, because Scholes headed the ball and Richards didn't. The wind out of his sails a little bit, but he's got up and got on with it.
Well, he's dished it out over his career, but he's taken a fair bit as well. And he has been, as you said, quite rightly, one of the great players of his generation. Biting in on Carrick. Here is Scholes. Giggs. Evra. Rooney in the middle. Welbeck. Rooney. Oh, and Lescott. He perhaps doesn't move his feet as quickly as some of the defenders. Did well to reposition and get in the way. Scholes again.
The other thing I think Man City have done quite well, both times they've scored a goal, Mancini's just got them to calm down. So still got plenty of time. Don't go racing around like you were talking about. Manchester United chasing the game at 3-1 and then losing at 6. Man City haven't done that. They're still playing a counter-attacking game.
Smalling. Rooney has scored a wonderful header and a follow-up penalty. On the side of Welbeck's volleyed finish. But Manchester United losing the ball and certainly losing the position that they had at half-time. Giggs. Deflection, 1 or 2 little things breaking City's way, which certainly didn't happen in the first half. And of course the penalty incident. Everyone from Sir Alex Ferguson downwards in Manchester City, let's say, we're sure that another penalty should have been awarded their way. Jones. Scholes. Well, you're not watching a rerun of a past game. This is live, and Paul Scholes is playing. Jones. Valencia was so influential in the building up that 3-0 lead in the first half. Scholes again. Evra. Dangerous times these for Manchester City, you feel. He wanted a foul, certainly a corner, but it's a goal kick.
He wanted the ball played to him a little bit quicker, a bit more pace in it. A go at Evra. Gives him a little nod. Yeah, you're right. A bit different to Ferdinand and Jones in the first half. Here's the pass, just under hit. Zabaleta gets out there. I think it comes off Giggs' standing foot to start with. That's why he played it off the field.
He's becoming a bit of a grey beard, but he's still there, approaching 900 games for Manchester United.
It's not a bad record, is it?
He's just teasing one on for the willing running of Welbeck. Supporting again, it breaks here for Valencia. Has to maybe go around the outside of Kolarov, who's had trouble containing him. Scholes up in support, cross by Jones. And helped out of harm's way by Richards, a big back header.
And that's what he does so well when balls are played into the box. Sometimes he lacks awareness, get caught lacking concentration, but when balls are played, he's really determined.
Evra, Valencia, Jones wants it. In the end, it's Scholes. Going to make up for the error at the other end.
Well, that's what he does so often, hits the target. Valencia once again, just setting him up. Strikes it really well. A bit of swerve on it. Last.
We talked about Carrick not wanting to shoot from that sort of position. And, there was much more threat from that Paul Scholes drive than there was from Carrick's attempt to craft a pass to a teammate.
I wonder what Anderson and Park feel about the situation at the moment. Someone's been brought on before those two.
Especially if they see David Beckham coming down with pen in hand from the stand. Don't get too excited, that was just an attempt at humour on my part. I don't think many stranger things than that have happened. It's a pretty strange thing. Scholes again, given Manchester United's resources, Alex Ferguson saying he wasn't going to sign anyone in the transfer window, and he has signed someone. Scholes registered in time to play today. Rooney. Scholes. Asking over on the far side for handball against Evra, not given. Scholes available again. So that have to turn, and it was a good job that Lindegaard was on the move. It's not a great kick. He's going to try and get back. Milner. City complaining that Milner was fouled, but Chris Foy didn't think so.
They've got to keep their concentration. Not sure why they wanted to go all the way back to the goalkeeper there. Slightly under hit. Lindegaard did well to come out. It wasn't a great clearance from him. At least he was alert and alive. Aguero chasing it down.
That's offside. It's a wet pitch, but not yet a totally sodden one. Well, you mentioned Anderson. Here he is. Not long back from a couple of months out through injury. And Danny Welbeck doesn't want to go. And he's left an imprint with this goal, Manchester United's second, and being brought down shortly afterwards for the penalty, in which Rooney, the second attempt, made it 3-0.
I thought he played well, Danny Welbeck. What he does give Manchester United is that threat in behind, plenty of pace. Great goal from him as well. Probably means that Rooney will play as the out-and-out centre forward. Anderson dropping into a midfield area.
Well, there's been a lot mentioned, Stuart, about the aftermath of this match, how psychologically it will affect either team going into the second half, or just the start of the second half of the Premier League season, with them going for the title. If Manchester United were to win, you could say yes, psychological boost, but the fact is that 10 against 11, City have at least held their own and they would get a lot of plaudits even if it finishes this way and the holders go out.
Manchester United had the chance to really rub salt into the wound, didn't they, and get a high score. Really put Man City under a bit of pressure.
They still could do, of course, if they pick them off on the break, but they're well back off. That's going to be not so easy to do. They're very full of midfield players now.
I'm not quite sure what sort of shape that Manchester United are playing. Looks like Giggs has gone out to the left-hand side again. He started off for a while there in the middle. See Anderson, Carrick, and Scholes, midfield three.
Valencia out on the right. So they will get plenty of ball in this area, and Manchester City have to accept that. They've just got to try and find some way when they do get possession of getting up the field in numbers, as you say, maybe working a throw-in position up the field. And obviously a free kick in a corner would be even better.
Well, I think you're quite right. What they want to do is when they do counter-attack, win a free kick so they can get players up the field and start to play from there. When it's 3-1 or 3-0, doesn't really mean much to you, but when it's 3-2, the opportunity will be a real problem for Manchester United.
The bottom line about cup ties is winning them. And the performances really not assessed as much as in league games when you lose. If it would be a heroic defeat for Manchester City, the holders would still be out. Giggs has had so many cup runs with Manchester United. Scholes likewise. In the final in 1999, the final for which he wasn't suspended. Valencia, Jones, Scholes. Now Manchester City have to switch on and try and win it back. Scholes again. And again. Jones. Let's get in the way. Second ball. They get the throw, Manchester City. Not blessed with a lot of physically powerful players. You say Lescott, I suppose, De Jong, Richards. But, they've relied a lot on skill and ability to pass the ball around the opposition to get to the top of the Premier League. Even the likes of Balotelli and Dzeko, who missed the early news, both out of contention today through injury. And there's a physical presence there that Manchester City haven't got today. Yaya Toure, the most physical of all, not available until now. His country getting knocked out of the African Cup of Nations.
I still think they're the best team in the Barclays Premier League because they combine their attacking play. They can attack in many ways. Good passing, they're running with the ball, physical strengths as well with the likes of Yaya Toure, but they also defend with great determination and passion and organisation.
Zabaleta, spotted by Ferdinand. Scholes to Carrick, helping Manchester United again by the short pass route. The passing statistics will be strong, and my word, talking about comebacks, Owen Hargreaves, who has been at Manchester City this season, has made 3 previous appearances, having left Manchester United, being released by Manchester United because of his injury problems.
I don't think he's going to be shaking hands with the Manchester United physio and medical team before he goes on.
It's been quite fulsome, his criticism, hasn't he?
Poor pass from Ferdinand again. Not sure what he was looking for there.
Manchester City have to keep believing that there is a miraculous finish to this third-round FA Cup tie, which has brought us such drama. Not to teams going head-to-head at each other, which is perhaps what we expected. The early exit of Kompany changed those dynamics. The fortitude, first of all, the skill. We shouldn't underestimate how well Manchester United played when things were going their way in the first half, to take advantage of those situations. to go in with a 3-0 lead at the break. It's been a really proud response from Mancini's men. Amazingly, with 10 minutes to go, they're still very much in this match. And a fourth Manchester United goal would finish that off. Scholes.
What Man City have to do exactly what Richards were doing, put the defenders under a bit of pressure. Now they've given the ball away, Manchester United.
Jones nipping in. Aguero, incidentally, has taken his tally of 17 goals this season for Manchester City. What a buy he's been. And it's Nasri off. Owen Hargreaves, 4 years a Manchester United player. Only really one proper season for them, in which he helped them win the Champions League. And he did score on his Manchester City debut in the Carling Cup against Birmingham City. Milner. It's beautifully done. Kolarov, can they? Asking for a handball here, but Jones pats where he believed the ball struck. Pressure on the referee.
They went to sleep, Manchester United. Good little back heel there from Milner, getting Kolarov in. Valencia doesn't really work hard enough. It was actually Anderson who was getting back in there.
And it came off Jones's foot onto an outstretched arm. We've seen them given.
It would have been very unlucky for Jones if it was given. Now there's a chance for Man City.
Taken by Milner. Not deep enough, headed out by Rooney, whose magnificent goal-scoring header got the drama underway here.
Oh, that was disappointing corner, wasn't it, from Milner? He's got to get the ball in the danger area. He's got to put Manchester United under a bit of pressure. But to allow it to go to that near post and Rooney to head clear is a real waste.
Brian Kidd, of course, a distinguished playing career with Manchester City, but mostly known for his time as a Manchester United player, and of course as a long-time assistant to Alex Ferguson, very much in the opposing camp to Alex Ferguson today. Hargreaves. And we do believe, Stuart, sometimes that these stories in this competition are written in the stars, and there's a free kick here. Valencia gives away on Kolarov with a chance to get the ball in the box, maybe even from this deep area. Kolarov contents himself with switching the play, and he does it spectacularly well. For Zabaleta.
Man City got too many players behind the ball, though, so they do look to play that forward pass. There's no one in the box, that's why they've gone back again. That's a frustrating the Man City fans.
Yeah, you've come to the stage of the game now where you've got to take the risk of losing 4-2 to try and make it 3-3. Milner. Ferdinand. Ooh, and the free kick's gone United's way. And Ferdinand fretful again. He didn't get helped out.
He's having to go at Evra because Evra got out of position. Ferdinand had to defend the space out in the left-back area. I'm not sure what the foul's been given for.
No. Certainly given by the assistant, Stephen Child.
The only thing that Milner did was have the ball between his legs and be on the ground, which is usually a drop ball, I thought.
Lindegaard hasn't done his cause particularly well. A great save in the first half, but definitely culpable on the second Manchester City goal. Chris Foy might take some guidance from his assistant here as the ball was in the air.
Aguero's okay, I don't think he's trying to play it a little bit here. Just puts his arm across him, then has a little more than that, but certainly not enough to be too much of a problem. Lescott, Richards.
comes Lindegaard, and it's just hoisted away from the goalkeeper, who wasn't happy. Lescott jumping with him, and Savic trying to put it goalwards. Rooney has to defend, and his pass is picked off. City will still plenty of players forward. They're still in with a shout here. Incredibly so. Oh, and Richards, the bicycle kick, it nearly falls for Lescott. And Manchester United, still 11 against 10, are hanging on.
Well, Rooney headed it back towards the goalkeeper, but Lescott was coming round the back here. No chance of Richards getting any sort of connection with that.
Could have been penalised for dangerous play if that led to a goal, but it didn't.
Does Rooney intend to head it back to Lindegaard there, or was that just coming off his head? He was trying to control it for himself to clear.
Well, his headers have done the job one way or another today, or nearly done the job. Time is on Manchester United's side.
Player down.
And Savic, who they're going to have to play with 9 men here. That might just kill it all off, because he cannot go back on unless they stop the bleeding straight away, or if there's any sign of blood, of course. The shirt will have to be changed. I understand the medical staff working frantically here. That's how it happened.
And there was the clash of heads. It was when Lindegaard knocked it out. It was brave from Evra, brave from Savic, desperate to get onto the ball.
So the climb gets even steeper for Manchester City. And United really had the opportunity to play keep ball at the moment. And Scholes, the master at that.
Saw Chelsea played really well against QPR with 9 men a few weeks ago. And they were chasing the game.
Come roaring back. It's one of the half-time substitutes. Help Manchester City turn this around, at least in terms of the margin of defeat. Evra. 2 minutes plus added time to go. A mega Manchester derby in the context of the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Anderson.
Man City have now got to try and squeeze the ball, win it back. Kolarov does well, gets time to Valencia on that occasion.
Kolarov, nice touch by Carrick. Jones. Rooney. Scholes. Carrick. Now Jones. Only the chance to keep the ball. He couldn't quite do it for a longer period. Wait to see what the 4th official is going to hold up in terms of added minutes. We're hearing that it might be 3.
Seen that last free kick and the ball into the box that Man City played. They've somehow got to win a free kick in Manchester United's half. It's the only way back for them at the moment, you'd think. I'd be pleased with the first half performance. I'm not sure I'd be quite so pleased with the way Man City have got back into the game.
Well, I think from the neutral perspective, there have been 2 winners on the pitch, really, Stuart. I mean, Manchester United look as though they're going to get the prize of the 4th round, and they like the bragging rights. But the way Manchester City and Mancini, as you mentioned, his tactical change at half-time has given this second half a sense of competition. Has been a truly excellent effort.
And the way they've done it with patience as well. They haven't gone flying around trying to win the ball back too early, knowing that they might be picked off. They've been very intelligent with their comeback, Man City. All credit to Mancini and his technical staff. And the players, of course.
Rooney. Valencia. Never been a drawn FA Cup tie between these two clubs. Valencia. And somehow City have got to push those tired legs into some challenges. Even if they do leave a gap at the back, to encourage Manchester City, maybe to Manchester United rather play a more difficult pass and risk giving the ball away. At the moment, the passes are too easy. And eventually, a City foot gets in, and Aguero looking for a way out. Zabaleta, Richards up front, bought by Ferdinand. Here's your free kick.
Here's the free kick. Richards playing as a centre forward, does well. He's got a bit of pace. Zabaleta plays the right ball to him. Rio Ferdinand gets the yellow card. It's not good defending from him at all. I don't think he's had a great game, Rio Ferdinand. He's off the pace. Michael Richards just nicks it past him. Ferdinand comes across. Will it be Kolarov again?
Slightly wider angle.
Now what Man City players have to do is get on the knockdown and the rebound just in case Lindegaard drops it. What a moment we've got in this FA Cup third round tie.
Prayers from those in blue. Could it be written in the stars that Manchester City are to come back here? Kolarov. Oh, and it's knocked out by Lindegaard, and it didn't go the blue way. And the man in green's very fortunate.
That was the knockdown I was talking about. Man City did have players there, but it actually went past the players. Manchester United had a bit of luck there, and the goalkeeper.
And they pile again. Savic, Zabaleta. City want a corner.
And they've got it. Oh, I think it's the wrong decision. Chris Foy's given a corner here. Here's the last chance.
Up comes the 6'8" Costel Pantilimon.
He still won't be able to head it though. Oh, perhaps he will.
Well, he's got to get back now, otherwise Manchester United will get out, but they don't need to. That is the final whistle. Rooney's 2 first-half goals, a magnificent header and a follow-up, another header from a saved penalty. With Welbeck also scoring in spectacular fashion. It was all Manchester United, really, helped by Mancini having his captain sent off at 1-0. They played for almost the entire match with 10, but Manchester City came out in the second half with a difficult scenario, but a different tactical plan. Kolarov with a wonderful free kick, and then a mistake yet again by a Manchester United goalkeeper, Lindegaard, allowing Aguero to score, and Paul Scholes given his comeback today by the Manchester United management.